I'm literally typing this from a bathroom stall right now. My hands are shaking, and I keep checking to make sure the door is locked. I've been in here for 17 minutes, and I honestly don't know how I'm going to walk back out there. It started like any other Hinge match. His profile seemed normal. Software engineer, likes hiking, has a cute golden retriever named Mochi. We chatted for a week, and he didn't give off any red flags. He even suggested meeting at this upscale tapas place downtown instead of just drinks, which I appreciated. I'm 29. I'm tired of drink dates that go nowhere. I arrived 5 minutes early, anxiety habit, and he was already there, which was nice. He looked like his photos, tall, dark hair, glasses. Nothing alarming. We sat down, ordered some wine, and started with the usual first date small talk. Job, hobbies, where we grew up, the weather. Normal stuff. And that's when things started getting strange. He mentioned he'd just moved to the city 6 months ago for work, and I asked him what neighborhood he lived in. Oh, I'm in Oakwood Heights, he said. In the new building on Maple, you know the one? I nodded. That's a nice area. Do you like it there? His expression changed slightly. It's close to the park, which is good for Mochi. We go running there every morning at exactly 6:43 a.m. Not 6:45, not 6:40, 6:43 a.m. Oddly specific, but whatever. We ordered our food, and as we waited, he asked about my family. I mentioned my sister lives in Boston. Boston, he repeated, nodding intensely. Massachusetts state bird, the chickadee. Population, 689,326 as of the 2020 census. Founded in 1630. He recited this without blinking once. I laughed awkwardly, assuming he was trying to be funny. Wow, you really know your Boston facts, I said. I know many facts, he replied, not smiling. Would you like to hear more? Before I could answer, our food arrived. I thought the conversation might normalize, but as we ate, he began cutting his patatas bravas into perfectly identical cubes, each one exactly the same size. He would measure them with his fork before eating them. Then he asked me my birthday. When I told him, he immediately said, "You're an Aries. Fire sign. Compatible with my Sagittarius nature at a 78.3% rate according to astronomical calculations from the Byzantine era." I took a large gulp of wine. I've calculated that we should procreate within 16 months for optimal genetic compatibility, he continued, spearing a perfectly cubed potato. I've already researched the school districts in our optimal future neighborhood. My mouth fell open. I stammered something about needing to use the restroom, and here I am now, hiding in a bathroom stall, desperately texting my roommate to call me with an emergency. I'm not sure if he's just extremely awkward, on the spectrum, or if I'm about to become the subject of a true crime podcast. Either way, I don't think I can go back out there. Wait, I think I just heard him asking the server if the bathroom has another exit. Oh God, I'm now in an Uber heading home, and I have so much to tell you all. My hands are still shaking, but now it's from a mix of relief, leftover adrenaline, and honestly, a bit of guilt. So after my last update, I was still locked in the bathroom stall when I heard a soft knock. I nearly jumped out of my skin thinking it was my date, but then I heard a woman's voice. Hey, are you okay in there? The guy at table 12 asked me to check on you. He seemed really concerned. It was our server. I hesitantly opened the stall door and must have looked like a complete mess because her expression immediately shifted to concern. He's being really weird, I whispered, talking about procreation timelines and school districts on a first date. I don't know how to leave without making a scene. To my surprise, she started laughing. Not mockingly, but with genuine understanding. Oh, honey, that's David, right? With the glasses? He comes in every Thursday. He's on the spectrum, high-functioning autism. He's actually a regular and a super nice guy, just not great with social cues. I felt a wave of shame wash over me. Here I was hiding in the bathroom, thinking I was going to end up on a true crime podcast, and the guy was just neurodivergent. I felt like the worst person ever. He told me to tell you that he realizes he made you uncomfortable, she continued. He says he did the thing his therapist warned him about again, information dumping and moving too fast. He apologizes and wants you to know that you can leave without any awkwardness. He'll pay the bill. My heart sank even further. Now I felt like a complete jerk. Would you like me to help you leave discreetly? She asked. Or maybe give him another chance? Like I said, he's actually really sweet once you understand how he communicates. I took a deep breath. I had two choices, sneak out and ghost this guy, making both of us feel awful, or go back out there with new understanding and give the date a reset. I fixed my makeup, thanked the server, and walked back to the table. David was sitting there, looking anxious, hands folded neatly on the table. When he saw me, his face lit up with surprise. I thought you'd left, he said quietly. I'm sorry about my behavior. My therapist says I get overexcited on dates and start planning too far ahead. It scares people. The honesty in his voice was disarming. I'd like to start over, I said, sitting back down. Tell me about Mochi, your dog. His face transformed. Instead of the intense, unblinking stare from before, his expression softened into genuine joy. Mochi is a rescue. She was afraid of everything when I first got her. We're similar that way. Would you like to see pictures? For the next hour, we talked about our dogs. I have a terrier mix named Pickle, our favorite hiking trails, and our jobs. He was still quirky. He remembered exact dates and statistics for everything. But now that I understood why, it seemed less like a red flag and more like just David. When the check came, we split it. As we walked out, I realized I was actually having a good time. And then, I woke up to dozens of comments asking for an update. So here it is. Buckle up, because this story takes another unexpected turn. After we left the restaurant, David suggested we take a short walk since the weather was nice. I agreed, feeling much more relaxed now that I understood him better. We strolled through the downtown area, and he pointed out architectural details on buildings that I'd walked past 100 times but never noticed. That building was completed in 1923, he said, pointing to what I'd always thought was just another office building. See those limestone carvings? They're tributes to the city's industrial past. Each one represents a different trade. His enthusiasm was actually endearing once I stopped seeing it as weird. He wasn't trying to impress me. He genuinely loved these details that most people overlook. Then we passed by an ice cream shop, and I mentioned that they had great pistachio flavor. Without hesitation, he said, pistachios are native to regions of Central Asia, particularly Iran. The word pistachio comes from Persian peste, but this time, he caught himself and gave a self-conscious laugh. Sorry, I'm info-dumping again. My therapist says I should ask questions instead of reciting facts. Would you like to get ice cream? We did get ice cream, and while eating it on a park bench, our conversation got deeper. He told me about his diagnosis at 27, how it explained so much about his struggles with dating and social situations, how he's been working with a therapist to understand social cues better, how he prepares extensively for dates because he's anxious about saying the wrong thing, which ironically often leads to him saying the wrong thing. Sometimes I rehearse conversations, he admitted. But then when the actual conversation goes off script, I panic and fall back on facts. Facts are safe. They don't reject you. I found myself sharing too, about my anxiety, about bad dates I'd been on, about my own insecurities. It was surprisingly comfortable. As we were about to part ways at the subway station, he asked if he could see me again, in the most straightforward, un-game-playing way possible. And I said yes. But here's the twist. This morning, I got a text from him that just said, "Last night was wonderful. I'm excited to see you again. But there's something I need to tell you first." My stomach dropped. Was he married? Did he have a criminal record? Was he actually not a software engineer, but unemployed and living in his parents' basement? I called him instead of texting back, and when he answered, he sounded nervous. "The thing is," he said after a moment of awkward silence, "I don't have a dog named Mochi." I blinked in confusion. What? I read that having a dog in your dating profile makes you seem more approachable and trustworthy. I was going to tell you eventually if we kept dating. I'm sorry for lying. I burst out laughing, partly from relief and partly because of all the possible secrets. This was so unexpected. He's been sending me dog photos he found online. He actually wants to get a golden retriever someday, but his apartment doesn't allow pets. We have a second date planned for Saturday, at a dog park. I'm bringing Pickle, and he's going to meet some dogs to see if he really wants one when he moves to a pet-friendly building. So that's it, Reddit. The strangest first date of my life turned into one of the best. Sometimes people aren't what they first appear to be. Sometimes they're running calculations on your reproductive compatibility, and sometimes they're inventing a fictional golden retriever named Mochi. Dating is weird, but occasionally, in the most unexpected ways, it works out.